is high. Deuce is low. Call it right and win the dough on Card Sharks. And here's the host of Card Sharks, Jim Perry.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome to Card Sharks, a game of decisions. You can win a fortune on the turn of a single card. Let's get to the cards. Janice and Ann, if you will, start loading in the cards. The red cards on the top will be played by the champion. The lower cards, the blue cards, will be played by the challenger. As you can see, we have a game in progress with these fine Card Sharks. Debbie Taylor, our champion.
Hi, Jim.
Debbie won $2,300. I was kidding you the other time about your voice being low, but there's a reason why your voice is low. Tell us.
Oh, you rat.
Yeah, I know. I'm sneaky that way.
Well, I was yelling very loud at one of my friends, so to speak.
Yeah.
I really let her have it.
And you lost your voice.
I lost my voice. It's not nice to be on the other end of me when I'm angry.
So now you've got to talk low, otherwise what happens?
Or else it comes out like
I
this.
see. All right, Debbie, good to have you back. You're doing very well. Pat Bueno, our challenger. Nice to see you, Pat.
Nice to see
You've got the lead in this game. And Pat, we found out that you have 2 pennies in your shoes. You still have the pennies in your shoes?
I sure do.
I hope you changed
They're
shoes.
getting very hot.
Oh, okay. Nice to have you back. Good luck to both of you. Each player has their own deck of 52 playing cards. They're shuffled and cut before we go on the air. And Debbie, the champion, plays the upper cards, the red cards. The lower cards, the blue cards, will be played by Pat. And as we can see, Debbie needs 2 cards to win the game. Pat needs 4. The object of the game is to work your way across the board, predicting whether each of these cards is higher or lower than the one that precedes it. Now, before you can begin calling high-low on the cards, you have to first answer a high-low toss-up question. They're all based on a poll of 100 people, and they test your ability to judge human nature. Thank you, G2T2. And as we left off, we're going to the second question in the game, and it goes to you, Pat. We polled 100 prison inmates at the Ossining, New York Correctional Facility, Sing Sing, and we asked them, do you think most policemen are honest? How many prisoners think most policemen are honest?
I don't think too many prisoners would think policemen are honest. I'm going to say 11.
You say 11. She says 11 prisoners think policemen are honest. What do you think, Debbie, higher or lower?
Well, I don't think even that many have faith in policemen, so I'm going to say lower.
You say lower. All right. The actual number of prisoners who said policemen are honest is 4. It's lower. Debbie, you've got... They had no faith whatsoever. Debbie, as we left off, you had a base card here as a 9. But, of course, you have won the high-low toss-up question, so you have the right to change that card if you like. Do you want to change that 9 or play it?
Oh, I'd love to change it.
And here's the next card off the top of your deck, just as we left off. This you cannot change. You must play a 10. Debbie, is this card higher or lower than that 10?
It's lower.
Lower. Remember, if it's another 10 you lose, it must be lower than a 10. It's a jack. It is not lower. You lose that card, and you're giving Pat a free chance to play her cards. You cannot change the king. It's a good card, though. Call this one, Pat.
Okay, let's go lower. Come on,
Lower
Jim.
than a king. It is a 4.
Beautiful.
Now, Pat, let me caution you that you can continue calling high-low all the way across the board, but if you make a mistake, you lose all the cards back to your base card. You can freeze at any time. What are you going to do?
I'm going, and the next card's higher. Come
Higher
on.
than a 4. It is an 8.
Next card's lower.
Lower than an ace. It is a 10. Now, Pat, you've got those 3 cards to lose, and this one, what are you going to do? Freeze or continue?
I'm going to freeze right now.
You'll freeze it right there. We move the freeze bar over. You need just 1 card to win. We'll fill in the space there. Janice, if you will. Debbie needs 2 as we go to the next question to you, Debbie. We asked 100 college students on the UCLA campus, have you ever streaked? You know what streaking is, right?
Yeah.
How many said yes, they have?
Well, I don't think very many people have done that. I'm going to say 2.
2. She says 2 out of 100 have streaked. Pat, higher or lower?
I agree with Debbie, but I've got a feeling the number's just a little higher.
Higher than that. The actual number of college students who said they have streaked is 11. It's higher, Pat. I didn't think that still went on. I wonder if they swallow goldfish also. Pat, we're looking at a 10 now. You can change this if you'd like.
Let's change it. Give
And
me
here's
a
the
good
next card. We play the best
Come
2
on.
out of 3. And you've got a 3 to play with here. 1 card to turn over for the first win in the match.
Next card's higher.
If this is higher than a 3, you have $100 in the first game in our best 2 out of 3 match. Higher than a 3, it's a 2. You couldn't do it. Debbie, play off the 10 and call this card.
It's got to be lower.
Lower than a 10. It's an 8.
Well, I'm going to freeze.
You'll freeze it right there. You need 1 card. Pat needs 1 card as we fill it in. We go to the 4th and final question. It is sudden death. Someone has to win on this play of the cards, so this question decides that all-important control. Pat, we asked 100 people in a California studio audience, do you believe that you have lived other lives before this one? How many believe they have lived before?
Oh, that's terribly interesting. I don't think too many people do believe in reincarnation. I'm going to say the 9.
9 out of 100 believe they've lived before. Higher or lower, Debbie?
Boy, that's a really tough question. Well, I'm going to say a little higher.
Higher. The actual number of people who said they have lived other lives is 29. Higher, Debbie. Now, Debbie, listen carefully. Here's how we play sudden death. You have an 8. You have the right to change it if you'd like and try to turn this 1 card over. If you're right, you've won the game. If you're wrong, the game belongs to Pat. However, you can force Pat to play off this 3, which he cannot change. And if she makes a mistake on that 1 card, the game is yours. It's your decision, Debbie. Do you want to try to play it yourself for this card or force Pat to play it with this one?
I'm going to play it myself, Jim, and take another card.
All right, here's that all-important
Let's
card.
give her an 8.
It is a 10. Debbie, call it.
Lower.
All right, if this is lower than a 10, you have the first game of the match. If it is not lower, Pat wins the game. Lower than a 10, it's an 8. Pat, you've won the game. Strategy backfire there, Debbie. Pat's got the first game at $100. We play the best 2 out of 3 as we clear the board. So Debbie can make a comeback. We'll find out if she can right after we take time out for this. Please watch.
Rayburn,
Hello there.
Dawson,
Survey's done.
2 originals, 2 hours.
Gonna watch the telly tonight, are you?
Match Game and Family Feud today at 4.
And Pat, you've got the first game of the match at $100. Debbie, your strategy there with playing that 10, I think you almost had to do it. She had a 3 looking at you with 1 card.
Yeah, it would have been too easy for her.
Yeah, so you had to try it yourself.
Yeah.
Well, it worked out for Pat, not for you. Right now we're going to fill in the cards for the next game of the match. Same decks of cards, and Debbie will start with a question for you. You need this game to tie. Someone's going to get a crack at the money cards. We asked 100 married men, did your wife propose marriage to you? How many men said their wife proposed?
Well, I think a lot of them probably try and finagle a proposal out of the guy, but I don't think they really propose themselves. So I'm going to say 27.
She says 27. Pat, how many men propose to their wives? She says 27.
I like her reasoning. I think a lot of women do kind of ease their future husband into that. But I think she went a little too high. I'm going to say lower.
You say lower. The actual number of men who said their wife proposed is 27. Debbie, right on the button. Wow.
Such a
You
guess.
know something about human nature. Debbie, we'll look at your base card for this game. It is a 7. You want that or you want to change it?
No, you can have that. I'll take another one.
And you now have a 5. That's a
Okay.
little bit of an improvement. Call this.
Higher.
Higher than a 5. It is a 4. Not higher. And Pat, we'll look at your base card right off the bat. You've got a 10.
Okay.
You've got to play it. Call this.
Next card's lower.
Lower than a 10. It is a queen. And you could not advance. Fill in the spaces. We'll go to the next question to Pat. We made a confidential poll of 100 men in California, and I asked, have you yourself ever made an obscene phone call? How many men admitted they had?
I know I've gotten a phone call like that, but I don't think too many men. I'm going to say 13.
13. 13 out of 100 have made an obscene phone call. Debbie, higher or lower?
Well, it really depends on what you consider obscene.
Yes.
No, I'm going to say lower.
Lower. I had to call the Internal Revenue. I considered that an obscene phone call. The actual number of men who admitted they had made an obscene phone call is 21, not lower. Pat, you've got that control. Wow.
Beautiful.
That's surprising. Pat, you want to play that 10
Oh,
now?
I want to change it. Come on, give me a good card.
Okay, we'll try. It is a king.
Beautiful. Next card's lower.
Lower than a king. It is a 7.
I'm going to keep going. Next card's higher.
Higher than a 7. It's another 7. Could not advance. Debbie, play off the 5 and call this card.
Higher.
Higher than a 5. It's a 2. No one is going any place in this game, but Pat still leads 1 game to nothing. Debbie, we asked 100 women on a diet. Have you cheated on your diet today? How many said they had cheated that day?
Well, being a constant dieter and a constant cheater, I'm going to say 47.
47. What do you think, Pat? Higher or lower?
I got to go with lower. It has to be lower.
You say lower.
Lower.
You think women, if they say they're going to do it, they stick to it?
When their mind is set to diet, they're going to stay with it.
All right.
They don't like it.
The audience doesn't agree with you. Let's find out. The actual number of women who said they had cheated on their diet is 51, not lower. Debbie, you've got the control. All right, Debbie, you want to play this 5 now?
If it isn't higher.
You're going to play it?
Higher.
Higher than a 5. She says she wants it. It is a 10. It is higher.
Oh, my gosh. Lower.
Lower than a 10.
Come on.
It's a... No advance. Pat, play this card.
Okay, next card's lower. Come on.
Lower than a king. It is a jack. It is lower.
Next card's lower still.
Lower than a
Real
jack.
low.
It is a 9.
I'm going to freeze.
You'll freeze it right there. Pat needs 2 cards. Debbie, as we fill in the spaces, need 4. And again, in this tough match, we are at sudden death control. Most important, Pat, we asked 100 people in the audience of the Carol Burnett Show, do you have a cold right now? How many said they did have a cold?
Oh, it seems that there's a
common
lot of
cold?
colds. It seems that there's a lot of colds going around. A cold, that could be a runny nose or just any little symptom. 53.
53 out of 100 have colds. Debbie, higher or lower?
Lower.
You say lower?
Yeah.
The actual number of people who said they had a cold is 12. It's lower, Debbie. And again, it is sudden death. Debbie, you can play this 5 or change it. You have to turn all 4 cards over correct to win. 1 mistake in the game is Pat's, or you can force Pat to play off the 9, which she cannot change. She needs 2 cards, and if she makes a mistake, the game is yours. Your decision, Debbie. Play it or pass it.
I wouldn't touch that 5. I'm going to pass.
You don't want to play 4 cards. All right, Pat. You've got a 9. Call this card.
Okay, next card's got to be lower.
If you make a mistake,
Real
we've got a
low.
tie match. Lower than a 9.
Come on, low.
It is an 8. You're halfway home for the championship. Call this one.
Lower.
Lower than an 8. You're the new champion. If it
Come
is,
on.
it's a 6. Congratulations. Debbie, thank you. Debbie, you're leaving with $2,300 of
That's
profitable
terrific.
stake.
I really enjoyed myself.
Thank you. Good luck with your studies. Pat Bueno, come on down here with me. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited.
Good. We'll play the money cards for thousands of dollars right after this. Pat Bueno, our new champion with $200. You were saying you're nervous, Pat?
No, I'm pretty relaxed. I'm nervous now that I'm going to go for the money. Let's face it.
I'm sorry I asked. Let's open the board and get to the money cards. Come on, Pat. Let's see you win some money. Lots of money. Here's how we do it. $200 you won in the game, that's yours to keep. Now, we've got a brand new deck of cards there, all shuffled and cut. And this time, we're going to give you new money to play with. This time, you're going to bet that money. $200 on the bottom line. Bet that as you wish with these 3 cards. When you move to the second level, we add another $200 of betting money. And again, it's your decision how you bet. Minimum bets are $50 until you get to that top card, that big bet, and there you must bet at least half the money. It can add up to thousands. All set?
I sure am. Let's go.
Here's $200 and let's go. As always, a choice of 2 base cards. It is a 5. Want to play that 5 or want to change it?
I think I'm going to keep it.
All right,
I'm going to
Pat,
keep the 5.
$200 and a 5. What's your bet here?
Okay, I'm going to bet $100 higher.
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 Remember, as in the game, if it's another 5 you lose, it must be higher. $100 higher than a 5. It's a 6. It is higher. You've got $300 now, Pat, and a 6.
Okay, let's bet $150 higher.
Oh, you're upping the bet as the odds get a little tighter. $150 higher than a 6. It's a 10. Good job. $450 and a 10. You're still around those Meds cards.
Okay, $250 lower.
Lower than a 10. $250.
Real low.
Lower. It's a 2. Real low. $700. Race card the 2. It goes up to the next level. We add another $200. $900, Pat, and a 2.
I'm going for bet the whole thing that the next card's higher. Come on.
$900 higher than a 2. It's a 5. $1,800 and a 5, Pat.
Okay, $1,000 higher.
Big bet. $1,000.
Gotta be there.
Higher than a 5. I hope it is. It is. Good job. $2,800 and a jack.
$2,000 lower.
Another big bet. $2,000 lower than a jack. It's low. $4,800. We move the 4 up. Now, Pat, listen. You have $4,800. You must bet at least $2,400. You could bet more. You have $4,800 and a 4. What is your big bet?
I'm gonna bet it all. That the next card is higher. Let's go for it.
$4,800 bet on the turn of this card. Higher than a 4. With the other 200, you've got almost $10,000 on that one play of the cards. Pat's our champion. She'll meet a new challenger in a moment. Pat Bueno, you are a gutsy lady. You really are. To go for all the money on a 4, that's sensational.
My lucky pennies were with me.
That's right, the lucky penny.
That's what did it.
You know who was not sure whether he was with you or not? Your husband is up there in the audience.
Oh.
And they told me that when you said, I'll bet all of it, $4,800 on a 4, your husband said, oh, my God. That's true. That's what he said. Good luck, Pat. We'll deal out the cards. 2 new decks for the next match as Pat meets a new challenger coming out right now. Hello, Bob Cloyes. Nice to meet you, sir. Tell us something about yourself other than I won't ask you what you do for a living.
Don't know what I've been in the Navy for about 12 years. I'm currently stationed out of Miramar with Fighter Squadron 51.
You're a flyer.
Yes, I'm part of a 2-man crew in the F-14 Tomcat.
Good. Congratulations. Nice to have you here with us, sir. Good luck in the match. Bob, you'll play the lower cards, the blue cards, and Pat will play the upper cards, the red cards. And we'll start with a question to you, Pat.
Okay.
We asked 100 men in a confidential poll, have you ever put cheap liquor into expensive bottles to fool your friends? How many men admitted that they had?
I love it. Oh, I don't think too many. Maybe I don't drink that much. Maybe they can tell good booze from bad booze. So I'm going to say 15.
She says 15 out of 100 have put cheap booze in expensive bottles. Bob, what do you think, higher or lower?
I've got a Scotch bottle. It's been at the house for a long time, and it's got a lot of liquor that's been in and out of it. So I would say the number is higher than 15.
You say it's higher. It never occurred to me. I think it's a great idea. The actual number of men who admitted they put cheap liquor in expensive bottles is 13, not higher. Pat, you've got control of the board. Not many people do it. We'll look at your base card. It is a queen. Want to play that?
Oh, I'm going to keep that queen, and the next card's lower.
Lower than a queen. It is a 3.
Beautiful. Next card's higher.
Higher than a 3. It's another 3. Couldn't do it. And Bob, very quickly, will look at your base card, which is a 4. You can't change it. Call this.
Good card. The next one should be higher.
Higher than a 4. It is a queen.
The next card will be lower.
Lower than a queen. It is a 3. What do you want to do, Bob?
It's going to be higher. The next card's higher.
Higher than a 3. It is a 6.
I'll freeze.
You'll freeze it right there. We'll move the freeze bar over. Bob needs just 1 card. We'll fill in the spaces. Pat needs 4 cards. We're in the first game of what I hope is a very exciting match, and we'll be back to it right after we take time out for this.
Up next, contestants try to match wits with insane celebrities while Gene Rayburn tries to control it all on a buzzer double play of Match Game. Next, stay tuned.
Well, we've run out of time, so we'll have to pick this matchup where we leave off right now, and I hope you can both come back and join us. I'm sure you can.
We'll be here.
Pat, I just want to let you know one thing. Now, we haven't been on the air very long, and of course, people can win a lot of money. I just want you to know that with that money card, that was the highest total we've had so far, $9,600 on one money card. I think that's terrific. We will be back to play more, and I hope give away a lot more money next time on Card Sharks. Bye-bye.
Some of our contestants will receive American Tourister strong lightweight luggage, the prettiest piece of protection your clothes will ever get. You travel first class with American Tourister. And a Blue Luster shampoo and new Blue Luster Plus carpet shampoo with grease cutters and brightness to remove ground-in dirt and grime. And the famous Presto pressure cooker, re-engineered and redesigned for the ultimate in safe, modern, high-speed cooking, the Presto pressure cooker. And Foster Grant sunglasses with polarized mirror and gradient lenses. Isn't that you behind those Foster Grants? This is Gene Wood speaking for Card Sharks. A Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production.